can host Always Sunny in Hollywood because I'm a stud. I'm ballsy. I don't take shit from anyone. I host my show anywhere I want. I don't happen to listen to it like you. Ho 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 ho.
It was actually a pretty
Uh,
good impression.
No, it
not
yeah,
gonna
wasn't.
lie.
honestly. Nah, I mean it's better than mine. I was like, I every time I do Arnold impressions, I just make inarticulate noises. I'm just like, put the cookie down. Yeah.
Welcome to
Uh,
It's Always Sunny in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's not the
So anyway,
doom.
so the person that did that excellent impression, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Lugia. People say I should be a voice actor, but no, I shouldn't. You don't know what kind of chaos I can unleash.
Yeah.
My name is Patrick. I might be a voice actor in the future. Who knows?
I go by Red Drum Arts. I hope to be leading the animation, and I don't know, most show creators voice characters. You know, Alex Hirsch. Who made Phineas and Ferb?
Uh, Dan
Dan
Povenmire.
Povenmire.
Yeah,
Seth MacFarlane voices like half the characters on
and
the Family Guy.
Jeff Swampy Marsh, I believe, was the other guy who did Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah. No,
He was
but
a team
Povenmire
effort.
was who I was talking about because Povenmire plays Doof.
Hooven Schmertz. Gotta get a platypus.
Anyway, let's jump into some news. So first let's get the tragic news out of the way. Anne Rice passed away, and as well as Bell Hooks, two very significant writers. Anne Rice is probably best known for Interview with the Vampire and Queen of the Damned. And then you got Bell Hooks, who's best known for her feminist and social activist writings. She taught at Stanford and Yale, and so yeah, uh, pretty big in the academic world.
May they rest in peace.
Yeah, and now to dip into some trailers.
All right, we gotta. All right, I wanted to bring this up just because I think you guys get a kick out of the premise. We got a trailer for an upcoming movie called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And what this is a movie where Nicolas Cage plays himself and is invited to the birthday party of his number one fan.
Wow, I
And-
can't believe he's showing up to Lugia's birthday party.
No,
Okay,
and
I'm not that big
basically,
of a fan of him.
basically,
Okay, I'm probably a bigger fan. Honestly, I've seen so many.
from what I understand, they reenact a bunch of scenes from his movies, but then things kind of get way out of hand.
Oh, okay, that'll be cool.
So I'm like, this movie knows exactly who its target audience is.
All right, cool.
Even like the tagline is like the most Nicolas Cage movie ever.
Okay.
This movie, above all else, is gonna be silly.
So in some animated trailer news, we got a trailer for this movie called The Bad Guys. It's an adaptation of a graphic novel. This one looks like it's going to be faithful to the graphic novel, which is interesting because DreamWorks has adapted a lot of books, but the only particularly faithful one they've ever done was the Captain Underpants movie. So it's interesting that they're going more faithful. Because
Yeah,
what's
like,
it called? Trek. Nothing
Shrek,
like the
yeah.
book.
Yeah, Shrek is based on a book, but like
How
in
to
the book,
Train Your Dragon. Nothing like the book.
if memory serves, I haven't read the Shrek book, but from what I've heard of it, he like breathes fire in the book.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, thematically, Shrek, the movie and Shrek, the book are similar, so it's not completely off, but it's definitely a big departure.
Yeah.
Then you got How to Train Your Dragon, also adaptation. Home, that's an adaptation. Mr. Peabody and Sherman's an adaptation of a cartoon, so that one's accurate, but like, still.
Boss Baby is also based on a book.
Yes.
I know nothing about the book though.
Yeah.
There are so many movies based on books that I've never heard about. I'm just familiar with the movies.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
you'd be
dude,
surprised.
I have a list on Letterboxd of all the movies I know that are based on books, and it's like, I think it's like in the 400s. It's so much.
I'll be honest, I have never heard of the Bad Guys graphic novel before. But from what I've seen of the trailer, it looks pretty cool.
Okay, so I looked at my list. There's actually 535 book adaptations that I'm aware of. So anyway, back to the Bad Guys. I noticed it has some clear influence from Sony's recent output, you know, Spider-Verse and Mitchell's vs. the Machines, because it's having some like 2D effects over the animation.
It's almost like a cel-shaded look.
Yeah, it's also reminding me of I'm not sure if you're familiar with the anime Lupin the Third, but it seems like this is basically a Lupin the Third movie. If you've seen Miyazaki directed one, Castle of Cagliostro, I think.
The art style reminded me of something. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but I will say the main character, the wolf, his design actually reminds me of like the wolves from Rock Dog. and while I didn't like Rock Dog, I did think the designs were good.
What if Rock Dog was epic? Yeah. This kind of remind me of like Sly Cooper almost.
Well, it is a
Not
bit.
like not visually, but like just based on
Well, I mean,
like what we've seen of the plot.
visually it makes sense. Sly Cooper is cell shaded, and this is going for a cell shaded look. I don't think
Yeah,
there's any animals here that are directly from Sly though.
I mean, Sly was a raccoon, hippo, and turtle.
And then
With
this
the
we got a
villain being an
wolf, we
owl.
got a shark, a snake, a tarantula, a piranha.
You know, it's really
At
funny.
least one
'Cause-
of those is gonna eat all the others.
yeah, two of my two of my friends that are furries. One of them, their persona's a wolf, and the other one's a snake. So I like when this trailer came out, they were kind of memeing on it a bit. It was like, hey, it's us.
All right, so as with every year, the National Film Registry has announced a few new additions, and we're not going to go over all of them, but I do want to bring up a few noteworthy ones. Wally was inducted, which is pretty cool. The original Nightmare on Elm Street from 1984.
Hell yeah.
Return of the Jedi, which means the entire original Star Wars trilogy is now preserved, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Fellowship of the Rings, so I guess this means Lord of the Rings is the next trilogy to be fully preserved. And this one surprised me. Selena was inducted. The
Oh.
biopic with Jennifer Lopez,
Yeah.
which I've seen in Spanish class a few times. I was
Oh, wait,
surprised
wait.
by that. I'm surprised. That's a good movie.
Yeah, there's a few significant ones I want to add. So, Strangers on a Train, which is an Alfred Hitchcock movie, got added, which I think would make, which I'm surprised that like not all of Hitchcock movies are in here, but that's cool. Pink Flamingos got added in. That's an incredibly important movie to LGBT indie cinema. It came out in the 70s, you know, back when homophobia was rampant. It's directed by John Waters. We've talked about John Waters before in the But I'm a Cheerleader episode. But yeah. The Long Goodbye, which is by Robert Altman, a very significant movie. I think it's pretty good. I recommend it. And the last one I want to mention is Richard Pryor's Live in Concert. This one is interesting because this movie is actually a stand-up special. The whole movie is just Richard Pryor doing stand-up, and I find that fascinating that got inducted in. Yeah, keep
Anyway,
going.
On with the show.
the
So,
main event.
Jingle All the Way was directed by Brian Levant, who is also responsible for The Flintstones, as well as The Flintstones and Viva Rock Vegas, Snow Dogs, and Are We There Yet? All of which I have not seen.
I saw
seen-
the
I-
first Flintstones movie.
I've seen the first Flintstones and Are We There Yet?
What's
That's
Are We
it.
There Yet?
Are We There Yet is a road trip movie with Ice Cube where he's bringing these two kids
Okay. yeah,
somewhere.
I got the gist of it.
It's been over 10 years since I've seen it. I don't remember.
So
Carry on.
this movie was inspired by the Cabbage Patch Kids craze, as well as the Power Rangers in the late 80s and 90s, because those were kind of the biggest things at the time for children.
It was also apparently based on Chris Columbus' experience of trying to find a Buzz Lightyear doll for Christmas. Also,
And
Chris Columbus.
ironically, which one
Go
of
on.
us is gonna go? Okay, I was gonna say. Just want to say, ironically, this film's release also coincided with the Tickle Me Elmo craze.
Yeah, so topical
Christmas
movie, I guess.
Crunch is real.
Yeah. Also, Chris Columbus. I just want to mention he produced this movie. Just in case you're wondering, how does Chris Columbus involve in this at all? Because he's not the writer or director, but he produced it. So yeah, that's what it was based off of. So Schwarzenegger. You go on. Actually, continue.
Yeah.
Luke, this is you.
So Schwarzenegger agreed to be in the film due to production on a Planet of the Apes remake stalling at Fox. So he signed on to the film on February of 1996, and filming took place in April, only 7 months before it was released. As a result, the marketing and tie-ins for the film were limited to a $25 Turbo Man action figure sold in 2,300 Walmarts.
That's it.
Cool.
That's all you're getting as a tie-in for Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, I mean, it was successful. This movie was a pretty big box office hit, made over $100 million.
Yeah, and it had like a $75 million budget too.
Yeah,
It's
which
not
was
a
insane.
It's not a
Like,
big
that is
success, but
huge.
it's
Well,
It's
considering
good.
like the parade and everything,
Yeah.
and
It was big enough to get a sequel.
we're not talking
Yeah.
about that.
wasn't that in 2014?
Oh yeah, the sequel was like years later. It probably like made a lot of money on syndication. Because Christmas movies, they tend to have a longer shelf
Yeah.
life than normal. Because people buy the DVDs because they watch it every year. They air it on TV, cable.
Also, one other thing I'd like to point out is that Joe Pesci, who you may know from Home Alone, Goodfellas, and every other movie with Italian stereotypes, He was originally supposed to be Myron, who was the mailman. But due to the size difference between him and Schwarzenegger, they chose Sinbad instead.
So in
You
some
know,
other parallel universe, they got that movie.
yeah. You know, this is odd. So Joe Pesci was in this movie called My Cousin Vinny with and in that movie his love interest was Marissa Tomei, who plays Aunt May in the Spider-Man movies. I just found it funny because Mr. Tomei was also in an episode of Seinfeld, and I'm thinking, man, she attracts a lot of like short chubby balding men, huh? Hell yeah.
One more thing about this movie is it was the results. It got involved in a lawsuit. Basically, what happened is that a publishing company called Murray Hill Publishing sued Fox in 1998, claiming that they stole the idea from them. Fox lost the lawsuit in 2001 and paid $19 million for it. But the decision was released a few years later after the court ruled that apparently,
Reversed.
yeah, reverse. I don't know. I don't know court and law. Do I look like I went to law school? I'm not Elle Woods. Come on.
How does the reverse work? Do they give back the 19 million? Is that what
I
happens?
again, I don't know how the law works.
Did they
How
double
the
it?
jury works. I don't know. I guess the person on the other side has to pay. I don't know.
Yeah, all right. This was Schwarzenegger's fourth comedy, his fourth crack at a comedy film after Twins, Kindergarten Cop, and Junior. I guess you can argue five if you want to count Last Action Hero. That's more of like an action movie parody than a comedy. But yeah,
Honestly, I commend Schwarzenegger for not just typecasting as a gruff action hero all the time.
I mean, part of the comedy is the fact that you're seeing Schwarzenegger being this goofy dad. But yeah,
Exactly.
it's weird how like every big action star at some point wants to make like family comedies. Either they start out with the family stuff or they become family stuff later.
I
Like
guess
The
to
Rock,
broaden their image.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. But it's always like the big muscly action stars. It's always like they're either in family comedies like John Cena and The Rock, they're in stuff like that. Dave Batista, or they're in these big blockbuster action stuff. I don't know. Interesting.
I mean, granted, his more significant roles in action movies are what make him Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I do appreciate the fact that he does something different every now and then.
Yeah.
He's got range. He's got
Yeah.
range.
I'm surprised he never tried for anything dramatic though. I feel like the only one of these like action stars I mentioned that's ever done anything dramatic was Dave Batista recently, and obviously Sylvester Stallone actually started in drama and then became an action star.
So Lugia, what is Jingle all the way about?
Honestly, the plot
we can
isn't
really
really
dive
all
in.
that complicated. So we have a mattress salesman named Howard Langston, who is also a father with a single child, wanting to get a Christmas gift for his son after disappointing him so many times. It's really hard to count, but that's pretty much the whole movie. He's just trying to get a gift for his kid, and he forms a rivalry with Myron Larrabee, who is played by Sinbad, to try and get a Turbo Man action figure.
Yep.
Hijinks ensue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's nothing
Uh,
complex at all.
Yep.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, we got a pretty solid cast. Arnold Schwarzenegger as obviously the main character. Sinbad, who's like his sidekick slash antagonist of the movie. You got Phil Hartman, who's also an antagonist. He was my favorite character.
You mean Troy McClure? You might remember him from such films as
Yeah, rest in peace, Phil Hartman. He's like one of the
Yeah.
funniest guys alive. He was so good. Phil Hartman's character in this movie was basically he was trying to make Arnold Schwarzenegger a cuck, and that's hilarious. He was basically the whole movie is just about him trying to steal Arnold's wife.
He wasn't even being subtle about it.
He
Yeah.
is
Like,
so
you could
he
tell
is so-
from his
like,
first lines of dialogue, this man was about to steal his wife.
yeah,
he is so creepy, especially in the car scene.
He puts his like Lionel Hutz voice on it because he seems like a slimy, like shady dude the entire time. He was like Lionel Hutz is slimy dude. Like whole time I was just imagining Lionel Hutz who's like, oh my god, boy, I love your wife's cookies.
Put that cookie down.
Put that
No.
cookie down. Yeah.
Okay, we got the immortal line out the way.
There.
Okay.
Alright, we did
then,
it.
Yeah.
Did it.
Oh.
We said it. Review over.
So an interesting fun fact is Jake Lloyd is in this movie, who's better known for playing Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace. So yeah, this was I guess his film debut. You know, at one point in this movie, Arnold actually almost says the line, "I am your father." And I'm like, I
Oh,
like to
yeah.
imagine, that George Lucas was sitting in theaters watching this movie and was like, "I found him, my Anakin."
I can believe that. But okay,
Also,
so
Jim Belushi was in this movie. I thought his
oh
character was
yeah,
pretty fun too.
Who'd he play?
I'm gonna
he was
say
he was he
Phil.
was the mall Santa.
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
I'm gonna say Phil Hartman and Jim Belushi were unironically funny. Like I actually thought that they had some funny lines in there. Everything else is so bad it's good.
Yeah, I want to ask, Lugia, you picked this movie solely because you wanted us to watch a bad Christmas movie. Which side did it fall on? Was it like just bad, or was it like enjoyably bad? At least for
Honestly,
you.
I'm with Red on this one. It was so bad it's good. I did not hate
I
this as
had a
much as I
fucking
thought I would.
blast. I think
I
this
would agree
movie
that
was
I'd say
fucking great.
among bad movies we've talked about, I think this is on the more enjoyable end, at least
Yeah.
for me personally.
I'd honestly say this is like the most fun of the bad movies I've seen. Like I love this. This
Even
was
more than
great.
Spider-Man 3?
I don't think Spider-Man 3 is a bad movie.
Alright, fair enough.
I think Spider-Man 3 is a good movie.
I don't know. I think for me, I think Street Fighter was the most fun. That's just
I
me, though.
enjoyed Street Fighter quite a bit. Street Fighter though was like, I give that a 5 out of 10 because I'm bordering on that not being a bad movie. I'd actually I don't think that's awful. Same with Resident Evil. Like
I
I
feel
think
like there's
Street
a lot
Fighter
of
and Resident
commitment
Evil I
when it
think
comes
are
to Street
good.
Fighter.
And like yeah, again. But yeah.
I don't know.
Um
I didn't think Resident Evil was bad. It didn't do anything for me.
Yeah. So Arnold's acting in this because like this is really weird because I've seen him in other movies. He's not like the worst actor. His acting is so bad in this. It's so fucking good. Like it's like, oh Jim, like he's like the way is like he like slurs his speech. It's like there's like a delay almost sometimes like when he's talking. It's like, oh yes, like his the way he like speaks, it just comes off so off. Like it's so weird. It's like I really love my family. Like I'm like, are you okay, Arnold? Like you don't seem drunk, but it seems like you got in like a car accident. Like it seems like he had a stroke before filming. That's what it sounds like.
I know it's just his accent. I love how he says turbo.
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 Yeah. Um. Yeah. It feels like Arnold feels like he's doing like a Stallone impression in this movie, but like a really bad Stallone impression. When he's like first at the mall, like trying to buy no, not the mall. When he's first at the store trying to buy the Turbo Man, I thought like that annoying salesman. I don't know. His line delivery was kind of funny. He's like, these gentlemen are looking for a Turbo Man."
Yeah,
Like it was so annoying.
his wheezy laugh got me.
Like I was like, this is like bordering annoying and so bad it's good. Like it was like rode the line because like
You can tell
I
like
enjoyed it.
you can tell the side characters in this movie are like really trying to stand out.
Werner Troy was in this movie. If I don't know if you guys he was
Can't
he
say I
played
do.
Mini Santa. No, he wasn't the elf. He played Mini Santa. He was like
Can we talk about that Santa fight scene?
I'm gonna be
Oh
honest.
my god.
That scene is kind of the point where the movie kind of lost steam for me. I don't know if that was just me though.
I'd say yeah.
It also didn't
it
really
lost
need
steam
to
for
be
me
in the
too.
movie at all.
Not at all, but
It did, but
I
I,
gotta-
like the
I-
Jim Belushi stuff.
I got a good laugh out of Jim Belushi knocking over on his head, then up again and hitting a pole. And also the mini Santa being hit and flying across the warehouse.
Mini Santa was Werner Troy.
So it got two good laughs out of me.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
This movie felt like a shit post. It's so incredibly stupid. I don't know how you could like hate this because it's so dumb. That's amazing.
Let's not forget, Arnold commits animal abuse, child abuse, and terrorism.
Yeah. Actually, my favorite gag was a domestic terrorism joke. Because it was just like, oh my god, like it was like the shock. They kind of ruined it afterwards. Like I'm gonna be honest, Sinbad got worse and worse as the movie like went along. Like I thought he was fine at the start, but then he just started getting like really annoying.
Yeah.
After a while, he was like mugging it.
I wasn't too keen on making him the main antagonist. I know why they did it, it's just they could have done it better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of thought he was fine like in the final like villain part, but like yeah, Jake Lloyd's acting is obviously not great, but like whatever.
I'll be real. I do think
He's a
this
child
movie,
actor. Who cares?
I do think this movie is at its most enjoyable when it's like completely absurd. I don't know. I think the ending went a little too far for me. I don't know.
They want yeah.
I like the ending. Just a
I
nice
like the
little
ending. It's
twist.
just
Especially when they implemented the green screen and the CGI, I'm like, this feels out of place.
Oh, you're talking about that. Never mind. I thought you were talking about like the last few seconds of the movie.
last
No,
few
no,
seconds
I
are
mean,
fine.
no, I mean like the whole action scene
Yeah,
between
like I
Yeah,
thought
that
it was
looked
pretty.
bad.
and
It was pretty funny. Like the parade part was like that was pretty funny because
Did you guys see the Sonic cameo?
yeah,
yes,
I did.
Obligatory Sonic reference. Let's go.
Honestly, that's not even what caught me off guard at the parade. What caught me off guard, I don't know about you guys, but you see for a split second after Howard lifts the Turbo Man doll, they briefly show a police float, and there's a guy doing flips off a trampoline on it, and I'm like, what is their story?
Yeah.
Like,
um,
what was that?
my favorite part of just the parade thing is like when Arnold's waving, like he's just having like such a good time. It's kind of funny. He seems like this big stupid little goof. He's like an idiot. He's like a little child. Like, he's like hell yeah, and then he like sees his son, and it's a bit corny, but like the son's like he knows my name. I'm like all right, yeah.
I
But
think
yeah,
the ending has some decent feel good emotions to it.
yeah,
Nothing that'll make you
like
cry.
it's
To be
kind of.
honest,
I got about this movie's pretty generic story wise. Like it's completely carried by Arnold.
yeah,
Like
like
if
it's
Arnold wasn't in this movie, this would just be a bad movie.
it's a very cliche setup, like the workaholic dad who misses everything. Like we've seen this before.
Yeah, the beginning cracked me up because of how bad it was. Like it was like when he calls his wife, he's like what was the line he said? It was like
You're my number one customer.
you're my number one customer. Oh wait, like and the way he reacts is like you're my number one customer. Oh wait, no, I didn't mean that, honey. I'm like, what the fuck?
Didn't
What
work
was
way
that
too
line
well.
delivery, man?
Speaking of the opening of this movie, I don't know if you guys noticed. 8 minutes in, the credits were still going on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I was.
what? Like I know credits like overlap on like scenes sometimes, but like we're 8 minutes in, like we already got to the emotional point where he realized he missed his son's karate thing. He's pulling into his driveway. The credits are still going on screen. I'm like, what?
Um,
A lot of people helped make this film.
this movie had this was what'd you say, written by Randy Cornfield. He make anything else? Have you seen any of Sinbad's other work? Okay, he made a few things, but they're all weird.
I don't believe I
I
have,
don't
no.
think. Yeah, me neither.
Let me see. Sinbad. He was in. Apparently, he was in Planes. Huh. Okay, so he was in Coneheads and Good Burger. So
That's a movie I've not heard in quite some time.
Good Burger.
Yeah.
Honestly, that might end up on the podcast. That's so bad as good Kino. Hell yeah. I like how they got an actor from The Godfather in there. Overall, I'd say this is a very funny movie. I did not laugh when they wanted me to, and when I laughed when they wanted me to, it was often not for the reason they wanted me to laugh. But I enjoyed it. Christmas Kino, 10 out of 10. The Citizen Kane of Christmas movies. My actual score is a 3 out of 10, but I'd say like entertainment value is like on par with like I don't know, 7 maybe.
I just want to bring up one more thing. At the spoiler alert, at the very end of the movie, when Myron is being taken to jail and Jamie gives him the Turbo Man, he says, "I'm sorry about the tension we had on the roof." Jamie says, "It's cool." I'm like, "No, it fucking isn't.
You
You
almost
almost
died?"
died." And that is not. It's cool. That is like, I'm taking your ass to jail. No, I'm taking your ass to court. That's it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say like I just wanted to say that. 'Cause that is
Yeah.
I just got
that
one
is
more
not
thing to point out.
that is not cool.
When we mentioned funny lines, I didn't get a chance to say this, but I liked when Myron said that that Christmas presents are just a conspiracy made by the cartels. I don't know why I found that funny.
I also did like the point where they realize that the packaged bomb, whatever, they realize it's not actually real, and Myron says, "I'm sorry, I've just been under a lot of stress since the Zip+4 thing."
So anyway, I'd probably put it ranking wise a little above Street Fighter.
I gave this a 6 out of 10, and I put it just above the border of what we consider good and bad. So it's like at
Yeah,
the very bottom of the good section.
For me, I probably won't add this to my Christmas catalog every year, but
Yeah, I'm not rewatching this.
This
no,
is
I
good for
didn't.
like every 3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like it's a dumb
It's like the
Christmas movie
Santa
that
Claus. Like you watch him, like I liked him more than Santa Claus. Actually, honestly, I don't know. The Santa Claus never grabbed me, but yeah.
like it's got a few good laughs. But overall, like it's not good, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah. I gave it 3 out of 10. Entertainment value is like I said 7 before. You know, maybe a 6. I'd say entertainment value of a 6 because it does kind of lose some steam as it goes along. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
again,
don't
it's at its most enjoyable when it embraced its silliness.
know.
Though again, the end
So
did kind of feel a bit too much for me, but whatever.
recommendations. So some other bad Christmas movies you can watch is I'll Be Home for Christmas and Christmas with the Cranks, and you can also watch Phantom Menace to see because I don't know, this movie just gave me some Phantom Menace vibes, probably just because of Jake Lloyd.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
All
guess
right,
that's the end.
It's your turn, Patrick.
all right. So,
We're gonna be
uh,
taking a brief hiatus, by the way. Taking the rest of December
The
off.
year.
We'll be
Yeah, we're
coming
taking the
We
back.
rest of the
are
year off.
currently done when it comes to 2021 content.
Yes, this is our final episode of 2021. We will be back January 2nd.
Well,
Mhm.
for recording,
Well, yeah, for recording, who knows when it'll actually go up.
it'll be up a
usually
couple days
about a
later.
week. Yeah, it's
All
mostly
right.
a week after.
Okay, yeah. So, guys, when we come back, it'll be 2022, meaning that Christmas will have passed. Sad face. But I don't want to immediately jump out of the Christmas season, so I decided to ease us back into it by picking a winter movie. It's not Christmas related, but it is set during winter. And if you think that things are cold now, buddy boy, things are only gonna get colder. So, we're gonna start off 2022 by talking about the horror thriller, not to be confused with the Disney film of the same name, Frozen.
Oh,
Oh,
I've
that
seen that movie.
Frozen.
Yeah. Okay.
That Frozen, yes.
For someone that
Okay.
doesn't like horror movies, you recommend an awful lot of them.
I know. This will probably be my last horror film for a while, but I'm curious about this.
I feel like this
But
is
Yeah.
gonna hit us on a personal level because we ski all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess okay. Since we're doing 2 bad movies in a row, I guess I'll have to either break the chain or continue it.
This is a bad movie.
Oh, this movie is terrible. I hate it. But yeah, okay, this will be fun.
No, I didn't pick this movie based on quality. I don't even know what quality this is. I just picked it because I don't know. Maybe this will fuck me up.
Oh,
Clickbait.
this is just a whim choice. Hell yeah.
The viewers will think we're talking about Disney's Frozen. Jokes
No,
on them.
You gotta put in parentheses of the title that it's
2010.
2010.
No,
Yeah.
go further. Make the thumbnail Disney's Frozen.
That
Or
is
at least have-
clickbait.
or at least
That
have
is
the font.
clickbait.
Or, okay, at least have the font be Disney's Frozen, just as a gag. Like you see like a person getting like their leg mauled off
Okay,
or something.
I'll make the thumbnail picture like the actual movie, but the font I'll try to do
Disney Frozen. Hell yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
if it's possible. I don't know.
So see you guys. Well, we're gonna meet like IRL, but like see you guys on the podcast next year.
Happy holidays.
I'll put the podcast down.